Guys, it's your boy CS. Hope you're having a good weekend. I've got a banger of a video for you on this Sunday afternoon for me. So let's get into it. So, you know what? We'll have a look at Bitcoin very quickly. So, as I said to you, I was actually shorting here at the top of this rising wedge. And I closed my shorts because on another pattern that we have here, which is like a descending triangle, or you could actually say it's a falling wedge if I connected those dots there. So far, Bitcoin is conforming to this actual pattern. So I may go in for another short. It won't be today. It might be tomorrow. It might be Tuesday. It might even be on Wednesday when the start of the new month is. But at the moment, I'm in a bit of a limbo situation because alts are getting a bit of a pasting, as you can see in here. And some of them are coming out green, but it's still a bit of a tricky situation because on the lower time frame, Bitcoin is actually producing a lot of wicks here, which is showing a lot of demand. Like sellers and bears just can't push the price down. However, there is going to be a explosive move. It's either going to go down or up, as we always know. So I'm kind of waiting on that. But I did share a new indicator, which is this open interest indicator. And I've customized it so that if you see large OI increase, OI means open interest. So when there's a larger open interest into cryptocurrency, on this particular indicator, it will show as purple. And if there's a large decrease of open interest, OI, it will show as white. So as we can see here from the candles, what I'm trying to basically fathom is when this comes down, it knocks out a lot of the retail because they're buying up here on these like very big green candles, right? But the whales are moving the price down like that. And then once it comes back down again, like here, it's showing that there's now more open interest, like building slowly, but a lot of people aren't seeing it behind the sidelines. So you can adjust this on different time frames, such as the 4 hour, 1 hour. I think the 1 hour is more accurate than anything else. The 1 day can be a bit confusing because it's showing the open interest has reduced the past 3-4 days, but actually we've had 3 to 4 green candles. And today it's showing that open interest is actually increasing. But if we look at the chart itself, it's showing as a red candle. So it can be kind of conflicting, but once you nail down a time frame like the 4 hour and the 1 hour, it becomes much easier. So that was the indicator for the open interest. In terms of other things that we need to determine are the S&P closed red on Friday, and it's got more of a shooting star formation. So if you don't know what shooting star is, it's a very bearish candle. That's normally a very bearish candle pattern. And so that would indicate that we would at least go down to the 20 EMA, which is this red ribbon, as you can see here. And if we were to retrace there, Bitcoin would no doubt retrace as well. So just bear in mind that SPX finished red last week. The Dow, although it hit all-time highs, did have a massive rejection, as you can see here. There's a top wick. As you can see, this wick here, it didn't get filled and it closed there in the hollow body. And then the Nikkei got a massive rejection last week. It got rejected by 5%. And if we zoom out and see where the all-time high is, which is all the way up here, it's still struggling. The Nikkei is still struggling here. So just bear in mind, this is the bearish sentiment towards everything. I'm not turning bearish, but if I see a short opportunity, like I said to you in the last video, I will take it. And I'll take it down to like 61, 62K and see how it reacts there. Now, the reason for this video is because I wanted to show you the US dominance chart. the USDT. So we've been following this channel. And if we break out of this channel, right? And if I do a measurement here of the top to the bottom of the actual channel, that's 5.3%. So if in theory we were to go down on the Bitcoin chart and up in the USDT chart, 5.3% would take us to this level. Let's say there. And that's exactly at my horizontal weekly support and resistance zone at 5.62%. See this here? So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles that basically hit into it. And this is the bearish sentiment that I'm trying to get you to look at, which is we could knock into the 5.62. And the reason I took a short was because we've had 2 closes above the 5.327 level, and today we're currently at 5.29. Hence why I think it might close just under. I'm not saying it will, but I'm just saying that's my sentiment towards it. Now, if I zoom out, we've been following this historic white trend line. Look at this white diagonal trend line. See how it bounces constantly like this. And if we come here, we might get a bounce. And that's what I'm scared of. Because if Bitcoin gets a bounce, altcoins are going to get smashed. They're going to get smashed real bad. And that is the bearish stance that we might go to 61 to 62.k. Now, if I zoom out a bit further, forget everything because I know it's a lot of noise. Follow this yellow diagonal pattern, right? From way back when, from 2018. This is the only trend line you need to look at. Follow this, right? So we're following it. Forget the horizontal, forget any other color above. Just follow this yellow one. See where the arrow is? Follow it. And look, you know when we had our peak of our mini little run in March and it ended, that basically wicked and hit this yellow line. Now, what could happen is this could come down and bounce. Because this is a historic trend line from 2018. It's what we've historically been following. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin did do something like that. Maybe. I'm not saying for certain, but maybe. Because what could happen, and again, this is just theory based, could bounce off there, could come back up, and then we could have the full alt season leg like that. Because you know how alt season moves like that very quickly in the yellow? When it moves like that, that's when you know alt season has occurred. So that's something just to be aware of on the USDT dominance chart. And again, I know Crash said his level was at around 2.39%. Personally, my area would be either on that trend line or within this purple box. And we have to be very much aware of it because, look, it's historically conformed to that trend line. We don't know where it's going to go at the end of the day, but we have to make an assertion that there's a high probability it'll bounce off that yellow trend line here. So something to be aware of as well, guys. For now, though, like I have said, if Bitcoin moves like it is moving now, then these alts are going to move. And like some of the alts, for instance, like Popcat, it needs to get a close over here, the 9686. It got rejected again this week. It was looking really funky at the start of the week, but it's got a massive rejection. Now, one thing I also wanted to show you was historic data. I don't think this chart has it. Let me see. No. Yeah, this chart has it. Great. Historic data as to what happens during the 4-year cycles. This is the most alpha bit of the whole video. So, September 2016. Remember what happened in our August and what I was saying to you? Forget all these moon boys and all the bullshit about the astrology. Fuck all that. Excuse my language, but same August we had, right? Same exhaust. We had a terrible August. And then we had a decent week at the end. And then September was mediocre. And then by the end of September and October, we went flying. That was the bull season. The bull market had just started. And it ran up for the next 12 to 13 months, whatnot. Fast forward 4 years to the exact same date in 2022. Notice what happens in August. We get that massive drop. Forget what the moon boy said. I had already said this is what happens in the 4-year cycles. And I kept saying it. It had nothing to do with astrology as far as I was concerned. So they can stick the sun and the anus up their arse as far as I can. Anyway, as we can see in September, moved up, went down. But actually, it wasn't that bad of a September because look, the wick got ate up, the wick get ate up. So actually, that was a positive September. Then what happened? October, bang, we went flying. First week, we have just gone flying. Where are we now? 4 years on. And this is the bit. This is the bit that is going to tell us what is going to happen. Because we are going into October next week. Yeah, Monday might be the 30th and I think Wednesday is the 1st. I don't even know how many days are in September anymore. That's how atrocious my calendar tracking is. Yeah. So Tuesday is the 1st. That means we are going to be flying. And ultimately what I'm trying to say to you guys is position yourselves, position yourselves, position yourselves. I'm going to keep reiterating it. You should not be shorting unless you're a pro trader or a very decent trader or of a high caliber. I short the market when I see things where I'm like, it's a bit iffy. I can do that. And my stop loss isn't that bad. It's not that, it's very tight. It's within range. But with you guys, long something on leverage at a key support zone. So look, if Bitcoin, I don't know, I've said it in the last video, so come and check the last video about how I gave you that analysis. But if the horizontal resistance is here, within this region, and we come back and we can't get out of this, there's just so much demand, then you have to buy when Bitcoin is around 65k, unfortunately. If next week we don't really get a movement to the downside, then it means only upwards trajectory only, right? And that's where we need to be. So guys, that's what I wanted to give you in terms of the alpha on this video, because really position yourselves now. You're getting very close to danger zone where you're going to be left out of the market and you're going to FOMO in. Don't get me wrong, if you FOMO in October, as they say, October, then you're not really going to be missing out on a lot because that is the start of the bull market. You're still in way before retail. But really, as I kept saying to you, keep one moon bag, one coin to rule them all. Whatever coin it is, bet hard on it and add as much as you can. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.